the government put out an urgent news release on the fisheries crisis. At 10:18 p.m. Nova Scotia time, they appointed a former Liberal politician to cover up their inaction on the fishery issue. The only thing the two sides agree on, Mr. Speaker, is that the fisheries minister is failing Nova Scotia. Mr. Speaker, we're months into this crisis. When is the government finally going to take the lives and livelihoods of Nova Scotians seriously?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, actually, the people of Nova Scotia, and I believe the people of Canada, agree strongly on one thing, and that is that all of us want a peaceful, constructive solution to the fisheries dispute in Nova Scotia. All of us appreciate the importance, the huge priority of honoring the rights of Indigenous people and First Nations in our country. All of us also understand the importance of conservation. That is the approach our government will take, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the rights of Indigenous Canadians are important, and that's why it's disappointing the Prime Minister once again walked back a promise to end all boil watery advisories on Indigenous reserves by the end of 2021. Test results revealed harmful substances in the water at Neskantaga, leading to a full-scale evacuation of the community. As winter begins to set in northwestern Ontario, the people of Neskantaga have been forced to flee their homes, this after living with boil water advisories for 25 years, Mr. Speaker. How many more walkbacks will there be from this Prime Minister to show that he cares? Will he get it done?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I am very glad to hear the Leader of the Official Opposition talk about the importance of ending boiled water advisories, and I noted that he spoke about how this problem has been going on for 25 years. That's a time of both Liberal and Conservative governments. And I would say we have a shared responsibility, all members in this House, to address the huge historical injustices against Indigenous people. We are working hard to end the boiled water advisories, and we will end them.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the government's new tone on China always comes with conditions. In the House, the foreign minister is all bluster, but then he issues a statement claiming his change in tone is the result of political cycles. On Sunday, the health minister said that if China misled the world about COVID-19, they should be held accountable. The rest of the world knows Beijing held back critical information. Only this minister seems to have some doubt. Mr. Speaker, why does the government find it so hard to face the facts when it comes to communist China?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't find it hard to face the facts about authoritarian communist regimes. I have lived in one, and I have reported on them extensively. When it comes to China, let me say a few things. First of all, first and foremost for our government is standing up for the 300,000 Canadians in Hong Kong. And let me say to them, we are with you, you are Canadian, and our government will always support you. Let me also say how appalled our government is by the treatment of the Uyghurs, and we're going to speak up for human rights everywhere in the world.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Health has always believed the Chinese Communist Party in its management of the pandemic. All of our allies are saying that Chinese numbers are false. Because of this misinformation, our country was not ready for the pandemic. And now she is saying that China must be held accountable if those numbers aren't correct. When will the minister stop defending China and admit that she was wrong? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, I think it's very important for each and every member of this House to be aware of the difference between a democracy and an authoritarian country. Democracies are more transparent. Regarding China, I would like to underscore the importance of the 300,000 Canadians who are in Hong Kong. We stand with them, and our government will always stand with them.
Le chef de l'opposition.
Speaker, in French, the Deputy Prime Minister just informed us that the difference between a democracy and a communist country is transparency. This from a government that was about to force an election rather than answer some reasonable questions in the WE scandal. This from a government suggesting that the Health Committee looking into the pandemic is going to shut down our economy. So my question is this, Mr. Speaker, is she going to vote in favor of transparency and democracy later today, or will she follow the leader's basic admiration for dictatorship?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Let me just say, Mr. Speaker, that it is either ignorance or purest partisan insinuation to in any way suggest any similarity between a democratic government of Canada and the leadership of a communist regime, between any Canadian Parliament and the authoritarian government of China. Now, Mr. Speaker, we need to draw these lines very carefully, and we need to use words like democracy and transparency with great care. I do, Mr. Speaker. I would urge the members opposite to do the same.